Imagine this scene. You're walking down the aisle in a store and you spot a rack of clothes with a clearance sign. The clothes are cheap, but they're out of style, torn, and just, well, not worth it. Now picture this. Why are you treating your own self-worth like one of those clearance items? Sis, I'm about to tell you something. You ain't on clearance, not for sale, not on discount. So why are you acting like you are? Why do you keep thinking that the love, job, or life you deserve should be at a lower price? It's time we stop undervaluing ourselves and start living like we know we're priceless. You ready to hear it? Buckle up, because we're diving deep. Let's go! Step 1, self-worth over discounts. When we talk about self-worth over discounts, we're diving into the idea that you should never settle for less than you deserve, especially when it comes to how you view yourself and how others treat you. In today's world, it's all too easy to feel like you need to lower your standards or accept situations that don't. Align with your true value because you think it's what you can get. But that's a dangerous mindset to have. You see, when something's on sale, it's often because it's damaged, out of season, or unwanted. And if you start seeing yourself that way, you're essentially telling the world, I'm not worth the full price. I'm willing to be overlooked, to be treated like I'm not important, just so I can fit into a place where I feel like I'm needed, even if it's not healthy for me. Your self-worth isn't something to be bartered with, discounted, or put on clearance. The most important thing you can ever do is recognize that you are worthy of the very best, and you don't have to compromise on that. This means refusing to take on relationships where you're constantly giving more than you receive, or staying in jobs that don't appreciate you, or even sticking to self-destructive patterns because you think it's what you can afford emotionally or mentally. It's easy to look at others around you and think they've got it all together, that they're the full price items in life, while you're stuck feeling like a clearance bin. But here's the truth. You are not discounted. And if anyone makes you feel like you are, it's time to raise your standards and stop settling. Recognizing your worth is about knowing that no matter the circumstances, no matter how much you've been through or how much time has passed, you are still worthy of the best. That means not accepting less just because you're feeling like you're not enough or like time is running out. When you know your worth, you're not going to tolerate bad behavior or situations that degrade your spirit. You're not going to put up with people who only see you as an option, as something to be dealt with when it's convenient for them. You're not a sale item, and you shouldn't act like it by minimizing your needs or settling for the leftover. It's not about being arrogant or entitled. It's about self-respect and confidence. When you prioritize your self-worth over the temptation of discounts, you begin to make choices that reflect the value you have for yourself. This mindset shift requires you to understand that your happiness and fulfillment are not for sale at any price. You deserve relationships that are fulfilling, careers that appreciate your contributions, and a life that honors your mental, emotional, and physical health. By embracing your worth, you are stepping into your power, refusing to be reduced to something that's undervalued or overlooked. In short, it's all about choosing yourself first, not in an egotistical way, but in a self-respecting, self-caring way that ensures you are living a life that aligns with your highest potential and your truest desires. And when you choose this path, you create the space for others to see you for who you really are. A person who knows they're not a discount, not on clearance, and not about to settle for anything less than the best. Step 2, confidence is key. When we talk about confidence is key, what we're really addressing is the foundation of self-belief. that enables you to navigate through life with purpose, strength, and authenticity. Confidence isn't about being arrogant or boasting about how great you are. Instead, it's the inner conviction that you are worthy of success, happiness, and respect, no matter the obstacles you face. This kind of confidence comes from within, and it radiates outward, influencing how you interact with the world, how you approach challenges, and how you make decisions about what you deserve. At its core, confidence is the understanding that you are capable and deserving of the things you want in life. When you have confidence, you stop questioning whether you're enough for something or someone because you know that you are. Confidence allows you to take risks, make bold choices, and stand firm in your decisions without constantly seeking approval or validation from others. It's that inner voice that says, I am enough, even when the world around you might be telling you otherwise. When you believe in yourself, it becomes much easier to dismiss doubt and the negative opinions that others might try to impose on you. You don't need their validation to know your value. In practical terms, confidence is seen in the way you carry yourself. It's how you walk into a room, how you speak up for what you believe in, and how you handle rejection. You don't let setbacks define you or shake your belief in your ability to rise again. Confidence isn't about always having everything together or never facing fear. It's about recognizing that even when you feel uncertain, you still have the strength to move forward. Confidence allows you to acknowledge your flaws and mistakes without letting them overshadow your potential. It's a sense of self-assuredness that even when things don't go as planned, you trust that you will find a way to learn and grow from the experience. Confidence also plays a crucial role in how you set boundaries and demand respect. When you have confidence, you're not afraid to say no to things that don't align with your values or goals. You understand that your time, energy, and emotions are valuable, and you're not willing to waste them on situations or people that don't contribute to your well-being. It means speaking up when something doesn't feel right and not allowing others to push you around or take advantage of you. Confidence helps you assert yourself in situations where you may otherwise stay quiet, unsure if your opinion matters. It's the belief that your voice is valid and worth hearing. Another important aspect of confidence is the ability to trust yourself. When you trust your own judgment and instincts, you stop second-guessing every decision you make. You're able to recognize that even if you make mistakes, you have the capacity to correct them and learn from them. This self-trust gives you the courage to pursue your dreams, start new ventures, and go after things that excite you, knowing that you have what it takes to succeed. Confidence allows you to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. Confidence is also deeply tied to self-acceptance. It's about acknowledging your worth without needing external confirmation. This kind of confidence is rooted in knowing that you don't need to compare yourself to others because your value is intrinsic. When you embrace your uniqueness and stop trying to fit into someone else's mold, you free yourself from the constraints of self-doubt and insecurity. You're not constantly worried about measuring up or being liked because you know that your true power lies in being unapologetically yourself. The power of confidence goes beyond personal growth. It also influences how others perceive you. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence because it signals strength, reliability, and assurance. When you show up in the world confidently, others are more likely to respect you, follow your lead, and recognize the value you bring to the table. Confidence invites opportunities because people are more willing to invest in someone who believes in their own potential. Finally, confidence is a lifelong journey. It's not something that you either have or don't have. It's something you cultivate over time. It grows with each experience where you push past fear, where you embrace failure as a lesson, and where you celebrate your wins no matter how small they may seem. It's a muscle that gets stronger the more you use it, and while there will be moments of doubt, confidence is the tool that helps you work through those moments and come out stronger on the other side. Step 3, avoiding the sale mentality. When we talk about avoiding the sale mentality, we're addressing the tendency many people have to undervalue themselves, their time, and their worth by accepting situations or relationships that don't align with their true potential, all because they feel like they have to settle. The sale mentality is when you start to see yourself or your opportunities as something to be bought on a discount. You think that just because you're going through a rough patch or haven't reached your goals yet, you're not worth the full price, so you start accepting less than you deserve. This mindset can apply to many aspects of life: relationships, jobs, self-care, and even your own self-perception. When you adopt a sale mentality, you're essentially saying, I'll take whatever I can get because I don't think I'm worthy of more. It can show up in relationships where you find yourself in toxic dynamics, always giving more than you get, constantly adjusting your needs and values just to keep someone around, even if they don't respect you or treat you well. It shows up in careers where you accept jobs that don't align with your skills or passions because you feel like you need to take what's available, even if it's not fulfilling or sustainable. The sale mentality is the belief that you have to sell yourself short to be accepted or loved. This mentality thrives on insecurity, fear, and the misconception that there's a limited supply of good things, so you must accept what's in front of you. It's the notion that if you don't act now or accept what's being offered, you'll miss out. But here's the truth. Settling for a sale mentality only keeps you stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction, and you end up diminishing your value in the process. You are not a bargain. You are not something that can be discounted just because you're having a hard time or just because others around you are settling for less. Avoiding the sale mentality means recognizing that you are deserving of what you truly desire, not just what's convenient or immediately available. It's about understanding that your worth doesn't change based on the circumstances around you. If something doesn't feel right, if it's not aligning with your goals, values, or self-respect, then you walk away knowing that something better will come. It's the belief that you don't have to settle just because society or your current situation might be telling you to do so. The sale mentality thrives in environments of scarcity, where you're made to believe that there's not enough to go around, so you have to lower your expectations. But you have to shift that mindset and recognize that there is enough for everyone, including you. In relationships, avoiding the sale mentality. Number one means refusing to accept unhealthy dynamics just because you feel like you need someone to complete you. It's about not accepting the bare minimum from people who don't value or appreciate you. When you avoid the sale mentality in relationships, you understand that you are not desperate for attention or validation from people who don't match your energy. You're willing to wait for someone who sees your value and who adds to your life in meaningful ways, rather than someone who takes from you or drains you. This doesn't mean being picky or demanding perfection. It means knowing that you deserve a partnership that's built on mutual respect, love, and growth, not convenience or necessity. In your career, the sale mentality can cause you to stay in jobs that don't fulfill you or that underpay you simply because you're too afraid to leave or pursue something better. You might think, well, it's good enough, or I don't have the qualifications for anything else. But by accepting less, you're limiting your potential and resigning yourself to a life of mediocrity. Avoiding the sale mentality means recognizing that you're capable of growth, that your skills have value, and that you don't have to settle for a job that doesn't challenge you, respect you, or provide room for advancement. It's the belief that you're worth investing in and that your career deserves to reflect your talents and ambition. Wow. When you avoid the sale mentality, you stop compromising on your standards just because things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. You stop rushing into decisions because you feel like you need something to happen right now. You understand that timing is everything, and sometimes the best opportunities come when you're patient and selective. This mentality doesn't just apply to tangible things like jobs or relationships. It also applies to your sense of self-worth. When you stop thinking of yourself as something that needs to be sold or discounted, you start to embrace your true value and hold out for the experiences that align with that worth. In terms of self-care and personal development, avoiding the sale mentality means that you prioritize yourself, your growth, and your well-being, rather than looking for shortcuts or quick fixes. It's about taking the time to invest in your mental, physical, and emotional health rather than opting for temporary fixes that don't last. When you put yourself first and avoid the sale mentality, you make choices that serve your long-term happiness, not just your short-term comfort. In essence, avoiding the sale mentality is about shifting from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, from one of settling to one of thriving. It means recognizing that you are worthy of the best and that you don't have to compromise or accept anything less than what aligns with your highest potential. When you live with this mindset, you no longer feel like you have to fight for scraps or make do with what's available. Instead, you open yourself up to opportunities that truly reflect your value and allow you to live a life that's fulfilling and aligned with your deepest desires. Step 4, setting standards. Setting standards is the practice of defining what you will and will not accept in your life, relationships, career, and overall well-being. It's the process of deciding what aligns with your values, your goals, and your sense of self-worth, and then making the conscious decision to hold yourself and others to those expectations. Setting standards is not about being rigid or unrealistic in your demands, but rather about ensuring that you create an environment for yourself that supports your growth, happiness, and peace of mind. It's about recognizing that you deserve a certain level of respect, love, and quality in all aspects of your life, and then taking proactive steps to uphold those expectations. At its core, setting standards is an act of self-respect. It means valuing yourself enough to say, I deserve better than this, and walking away from situations or people that don't meet the criteria you've set for your life. Without standards, you open yourself up to being treated poorly or undervalued, and it can lead to frustration, disappointment, and self-doubt. Setting clear standards protects you from those negative experiences and empowers you to create a life that reflects your worth. It's like building a boundary around your life that helps you maintain balance and integrity so that you're not constantly bending to the will of others or compromising on what you truly need. When it comes to relationships, setting standards means having a clear understanding of the qualities you expect from others, whether they're friends, family, or romantic partners. You don't settle for relationships where respect, trust, and love are conditional or inconsistent. If someone doesn't treat you the way you deserve to be treated, setting standards means you'll walk away, no matter how difficult or painful it may be. You refuse to be in relationships that require you to shrink, sacrifice your happiness, or compromise your values just to keep the peace or maintain the connection. Setting standards in relationships is about demanding that the people you surround yourself with honor and respect you. It's about understanding that you don't need to earn love or respect. You are already worthy of it. In your career, setting standards involves knowing your worth in the workplace and demanding fair compensation, opportunities for growth, and respect from colleagues and superiors. It's about refusing to accept mistreatment, underappreciation, or roles that don't challenge you or align with your ambitions. When you set standards in your career, you know what kind of work environment you thrive in, what your talents bring to the table, and what you need to feel fulfilled. You understand that you have the right to seek roles that match your qualifications, skills, and passions, and that you deserve to be compensated accordingly. Setting these professional standards means you won't settle for a job or career path that doesn't offer what you need to succeed, grow, and be happy. Setting standards also applies to how you take care of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. It's about making your health, well-being, and personal growth a priority. You don't allow people or situations to drain your energy, compromise your peace of mind, or push you beyond your limits. Setting personal standards means giving yourself permission to say no when you need rest, to seek help when you need it, and to create time for self-care, hobbies, and activities that nourish your soul. You set boundaries around your time and energy, making sure that you are investing in things that enhance your life rather than depleting you. But setting standards isn't just about rejecting what doesn't align with your needs. It's also about embracing the things that do. When you set standards, you're telling the universe, this is the level I am willing to operate at. You start attracting opportunities, relationships, and experiences that reflect the standards you've set. For example, when you expect to be treated with kindness and respect, you start drawing in people who will treat you that way. When you set high standards for your career, you start to seek out roles and organizations that will challenge and appreciate your talents. Setting standards creates a filter for everything that comes into your life, helping you to attract what's best for you and reject what's not. Setting standards also means being consistent and following through. It's not enough to just say, I deserve better, and then let people or situations slide. To set meaningful standards, you must be willing to stand firm in your decisions and take action. This often means being prepared to walk away from situations or relationships that don't meet your expectations, even if it feels uncomfortable or difficult. Setting standards requires you to be unapologetically committed to your own happiness and well-being, no matter the external pressures or temptations to settle for less. It's the constant practice of upholding your values and protecting your peace. Moreover, setting standards is a continuous process. As you grow, learn, and evolve, your standards may shift and expand. You may find that what once worked for you no longer aligns with your current life or aspirations, and that's okay. Setting standards is not a one-time decision, but rather an ongoing commitment to yourself and your need. It's about checking in with yourself regularly and asking, does this align with who I am today? Does this relationship, job, or opportunity reflect the person I am becoming? When you're actively setting standards, you are creating a life that feels aligned with your true self and one that supports your personal growth and success. In the end, setting standards isn't about being rigid or closed off to new experiences, but rather about creating a foundation of self-respect, confidence, and authenticity. It's about knowing that you deserve the best and are willing to take the necessary steps to ensure that you are living a life that honors your worth. Setting standards allows you to create a life that reflects your true value, and it's the first step toward achieving the kind of happiness, success, and fulfillment that you deserve. Step 5, don't settle for scraps. When we say don't settle for scraps, we're addressing the tendency many people have to accept less than what they truly deserve, whether it's in relationships, careers, opportunities, or even in their own self-perception. Scraps are the leftovers, the things that others didn't want, the things that are overlooked, ignored, or treated as second-rate. In life, scraps represent anything that doesn't align with your worth, your potential, or your true desires. Settling for scraps is a mindset rooted in fear, insecurity, and the belief that you're not worthy of the full, abundant life you envision. To settle for scraps is to accept the bare minimum, to make do with what's left when the good stuff has already been claimed. It's easy to fall into this trap when you feel desperate or like you're running out of time. Maybe you feel like everyone else is getting what they want and you're left behind, so you start to believe that settling for less is the best you can do. But in reality, this mindset only leads to frustration, dissatisfaction, and a feeling of being stuck. It keeps you in a cycle of mediocrity where you never reach your full potential because you're too afraid to demand more for yourself. It's the belief that you don't deserve the best, so you settle for what's available, even if it doesn't truly fulfill you or support your happiness. Settling for scraps also applies to how you treat yourself. When you settle for scraps, you're not prioritizing your own well-being or making choices that nurture your mental, emotional, and physical health. It's about putting others' needs ahead of your own, neglecting your own happiness, and allowing people or situations to drain your energy. It's about accepting self-destructive behaviors, poor habits, or unhealthy coping mechanisms because you believe you don't deserve better. When you settle for scraps in terms of your self-care, you're telling yourself that your worth is less than what you actually deserve. You're denying yourself the love, care, and attention that you need in order to thrive. But when you stop settling for scraps and start treating yourself with the care and respect you deserve, you open the door to a healthier, more fulfilling life. The key to breaking free from the scrap mentality is recognizing that you are worthy of the best. This means acknowledging that you don't have to accept less than what truly nourishes your soul, enriches your life, and supports your dreams. It's about having the courage to walk away from situations, people, and opportunities that don't align with your values or bring you joy. It's about realizing that there is enough abundance in the world for everyone, and just because something is available doesn't mean it's meant for you. The world is not in short supply of love, success, or happiness. There's more than enough to go around, and you're worthy of experiencing the very best. In a world where it can feel like there's pressure to settle or take what's offered to you out of fear of missing out, It's crucial to remember that settling for scraps will only keep you from reaching your highest potential. The more you accept less than what you deserve, the more you convince yourself that you're not worthy of greatness. But once you break free from the cycle of settling for scraps, you begin to see the world through a lens of abundance. You start recognizing that you deserve the best, and you begin attracting experiences, relationships, and opportunities that match that belief. When you stop settling for less, you make room for the extraordinary things that are waiting for you. The world is full of possibilities, and you are worthy of all the amazing things it has to offer. 6, empowerment and growth. Empowerment and growth are two intertwined concepts that serve as the foundation for personal development and the pursuit of a fulfilled life. Empowerment is the process of gaining control over your own life, making decisions based on your values, and using your voice to advocate for yourself and others. It's about recognizing your own strength, capability, and worth, and harnessing those qualities to shape your future. Growth, on the other hand, is the continuous journey of learning, evolving, and expanding your perspective and capability. It involves stepping outside your comfort zone, embracing challenges, and transforming obstacles into opportunities for improvement. To be empowered is to acknowledge that you have the ability to change your circumstances, regardless of where you start or the barriers you may face. Empowerment comes from understanding that your choices, actions, and mindset are what ultimately shape your life. It's about realizing that you have the power to make decisions that support your best interests, and that you don't need permission or validation from others to live a life that aligns with your dreams. Empowerment isn't given to you by someone else. It's something you cultivate within yourself. It's recognizing that no one else can define your potential or determine your worth. And you alone have the power to create the life you want. Moreover, empowerment and growth are not linear processes. There will be times when you feel stuck, when progress seems slow, or when you encounter roadblocks that make you question whether you're moving in the right direction. During these times, it's crucial to remember that growth is a process, not an outcome. It's about consistent, small steps forward, even when the path feels unclear. Empowerment often comes during the moments when you're at your lowest, when you face failure or rejection, and yet decide to keep moving forward. These moments are where your true strength is forged, and they teach you that your worth is not dependent on your success or your failures, but on your willingness to keep going. Growth also involves expanding your mindset. It means going beyond your current understanding of what's possible and challenging the limitations you've placed on yourself. When you believe that you can grow, you begin to see possibilities instead of obstacles. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to learn and evolve, rather than a roadblock that prevents you from moving forward. A growth mindset embraces the idea that intelligence, skills, and abilities can be developed over time with effort and dedication. This shift in perspective allows you to approach difficulties with curiosity and optimism, knowing that you can acquire new skills, insights, and knowledge that will help you succeed in the future. Ultimately, empowerment and growth are about becoming the best version of yourself, not for the approval of others, but for your own sense of fulfillment and happiness. It's about recognizing your inherent worth, embracing the process of continuous learning, and refusing to let fear or self-doubt hold you back. As you grow and empower yourself, you inspire. others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that can positively impact your community and the world around you. Empowerment and growth are the keys to unlocking a life of purpose, fulfillment, and success, whatever that looks like for you. As we wrap up today, let's remember one powerful truth. You're not on clearance, sis. You are not here to settle for scraps, to shrink in the face of doubt, or to accept anything less than what you truly deserve. You are here to live a life of empowerment, growth, and fulfillment. It's time to raise your standards, demand what you are worth, and never back down from the greatness that's within you. The world is full of opportunities, but only those who recognize their value and refuse to accept anything less can seize them. So as you walk away from this speech, take with you the understanding that you are worthy of the best, whether it's in your relationships, your career, or your own personal journey. Keep striving, keep growing, and never settle for less than you deserve. The power is in your hands, sis, and the world is waiting for you to claim it. Now, go out there and show them exactly what you're made of. You ain't on clearance. You're priceless.